What up folks, it's Alex here. Now I sat down to watch some Top Gear the other day and I noticed this really cool sort of colour swipe technique they used for their cinematography and their B-roll. So I thought I'd put it up in DaVinci Resolve and have a crack at making it myself. Now obviously I don't have any supercars to play with, so I bust out the Lego and recorded this bit of B-roll earlier today. So there you go. I think it's quite cool. I think it'll work quite well for some B-roll or some product shots and that sort of thing. So I figured I'd make a video and show you how it's done. Now, as always, I try and find the easiest and quickest method. There are other methods. You could easily do this for masking as well, but I like to do it with a couple of keyframes and the cropping tool. So let's open DaVinci Resolve and I'll show you how to do it. So here we are folks, we're in DaVinci Resolve and we're on the edit tab, and I've already added my clip to my timeline and I've slowed it down so I want it to play in slow motion. Now we need two layers for this, so we need this to be duplicated. So the first thing we're going to do is duplicate this clip. Now the easiest way to do that, if you just hold the Alt key on your keyboard and then you can just drag this across and there you go, you can make a quick duplicate of it. You can also just copy and paste it if you prefer, but I like to hold Alt, it's just the easiest way to do it. Now I, again, like to have one of these saturated, so one of these in black and white, and the other one in colour. It just adds more separation, it adds more pop and more contrast. So we need to desaturate one of these clips. So I'm just going to click on the timeline, hop straight into the colour tab. It's already selected, so that's handy. And we're going to come down here to this bar across the bottom. Make sure you've clicked on number 1, and then we're going to go to saturation and just knock that saturation down to 0. So then it becomes black and white. And then we can hop straight back to our edit tab. And there we go. So this clip here is in black and white, while this one here is in colour. Now we need to stack them because they need to be laid on top of each other. So I'm just going to drag this one above that one like so. So the swipe itself is going to be in colour, while everything else underneath is going to be in black and white. If you want them the other way around, dead easy, just swap them. So the one that is the swipe is on top. The remaining one is underneath. Now, the next thing we need to do is do a little bit of a zoom. So it just looks better if you've got a bit of a zoom in. Again, it adds more separation between the swipe and the background itself. So we need to just click on the clip on the timeline. Then we're going up to the top right and we're going to open the inspector. We're going to go to transform and then we're just going to zoom in just a little bit. So this top one is zoomed in and in color. And if I reveal the one underneath, that's zoomed out slightly and it's in black and white. And then we can start to do our actual color swipe. Now what we need to do, head over to the far left, to the very beginning of the clip. Again, in the inspector, go to the cropping area. And then we need to use some keyframes. If you've not used keyframes before, click on the link above. There's a short video I made where I talk about keyframes, how they work, and just a general basic overview of what they do. So we're just going to click on this keyframe up here. Now you can do your swipe from whatever side you like, coming into the left and going right, right to left, up to down, down to up, whatever you want to do. You just use the corresponding crops. So for this one, I'm going to come in from the left going to the right. So what we need to do is crop using the right. So I'm just going to drag this all the way over to the right hand side. And we're basically going to get rid of that top layer by cropping all of it away. Then we're going to drag our timeline about a second in. About there. Then we're going to go here. We're going to click on the keyframe to add another one. Quick note, it is important that you add a cropping keyframe, this one here, rather than an individual keyframe, because you need all the other attributes to remain at 0 with the exception of the one that you're changing. And then we're just going to drag this back in to about there. So you can just start to see the red from the van. That's perfect. You don't need to do any other cropping just yet. Then we're going to grab a playhead again and go right to the end of the clip. Add a keyframe. Now for this one, we want to get rid of all the cropping from the right hand side. So we're just going to drag that down to 0. And then we're going to grab our crop left and drag it all the way over to the right hand side. And that's it. So now if we go back to the beginning and hit play, it's fully cropped. You can't see any of that upper layer at the beginning. about a second in, the crop will come across, and then the left hand will start to follow until it gets to the very end, and that's it. Now, if you want to do a top to bottom, you do the exact same thing. Come to the very beginning, add a keyframe. We're going to crop to the top, like so, all the way. We're going to go about a second or so in, add a keyframe, bring the crop back up to about there, then go right to the end, keyframe, get rid of that crop entirely and crop everything from the bottom. And then if we hit play, there you go, easy as that. And that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up if you did, comments down below if you've got any feedback. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye.